Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Just one update for the housing project on Hartford. We spoke with the engineers. They're going to have their study done in 3 to 4 weeks. The board, if you'd like to postpone that until we get the results for the proposal.
So we continue to take all the action.
We'll table the action until we actually get the proposal from the surveyors and see where water issues are. Engineers. I just want to, if anybody's coming from that. Okay, next, Town Clerk Committee Supervisor to sign 2019 Youth Employment Program Voucher. If I could have a motion.
So moved. A second.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Supervisor sign application for storage tank liability insurance policy. Motion by Rich,
A second.
second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Update M&T tax collector agreement. Supervisor to sign. If I could have a motion. Motion by Jim. Second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Accept quote for ATM machine installation. It's attached in the packet. Motion by Rich. For the installation.
I have a John Monroe. Are there multiple?
There's a John Monroe, then there should be one on that.
Oh, saving paper, good.
Was this about the, wasn't here, or was looking at the,
Yeah, under a license,
Yes.
they're allowed to set it up in the town. We can grant licenses, just like at the park if we have vendors and whatever. But I think we went out for quotes.
There's a public hearing in December.
Right. We had the public hearing in December,
Right.
then we went out for quotes. And this is all you got?
Okay. And Barb, you had something again?
I don't know, maybe it was here.
Employees didn't get charged a fee, she said?
It's in the quote.
It's in this one quote.
Well, they want to use our broadband connection as well. Is that?
That's fine, we have a secure, yeah, we have a secured,
They won't be able to.
they can't access our data now. We'll put them on the network, which we have our wireless.
Do you want to defer on these till the next meeting so I can?
Sure,
get
yep.
some details?
Okay, let's postpone
Is
it.
that all right?
Yeah. Okay, supervisor signed excess employment liability insurance. If I can have a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Dave. Second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Director of Finance, Dan.
Yeah, there's 3 budget adjustments for the year 2019. You should, I just gave you copies of them. So the first one's in general Old Town. These are for various expenses to realign in order to pay bills next month. So there's 5 line items that total $28,000. We're going to increase those by those amounts. We're going to increase offsetting sales tax revenue by that $28,000. I could have a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Rich. Second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The second one is in highway part-time for 4 expense line items that total $55,165. Again, to realign the budget to actual expenditures and will increase sales tax revenue by the same $55,165.
Okay, motion. Motion by Rich. Second by Dave. Discussion. All in favor?
just on the
Oh,
discussion
sure.
part. So when you say you're taking from the sales tax, It's, just explain that. I know
I'm
it's
not
so
taking
quick.
it from there, because we are way ahead in our sales tax budget.
Right.
What we budgeted and what we're actually
You've
receiving.
seen, okay, that's what I wanted, yeah. Yep, thank you.
Anything else on that one?
Yeah,
Aye.
all in favor? Aye.
And then, the last one is general part-time to increase one line item, for $1,500, and we have an offset that is increase in sales tax revenue for $1,500.
You have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Dave. Second by Rich, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Public Safety and Courts Committee, we have part-time officer.
Yep, so, Dan Furman retired, as a full-time police officer for us on the 4th, last day after the 3rd. And Mike wanted to appoint him as a permanent part-timer, to fill in when his full-timers aren't available. He would be a permanent part-timer, at a rate of $35.03, effective on January 11th.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dave. Second by Rich, discussion.
And just,
Sure.
that was the max hours up to, like,
It was 17 and a half.
As a permanent, he's not limited, but Mike usually just uses them as fill-ins.
so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Rick, you have anything?
No.
Barb?
No.
Dan? No? Rich? Dave?
Just a quick question on our meetings next, or this year.
Yep.
Normally, we're doing the first or the second and fourth Wednesday.
Whatever the schedule was, I don't know. Some of them, I think,
Some of them catch.
collided with some different things we have in the town, but yeah.
Okay, all right. The other thing is August 18th is a Tuesday, is that correct? It is a
The
bunch.
19th,
All right, this says the 18th, is it?
that's the typo then.
Okay, so it should be
19th.
Wednesday the 19th.
There was a couple others too that were off on there.
Yeah, but if we're gonna publish it.
Yeah, we get put online.
We gotta make sure it's right.
We'll go over it again, because that was a few of them, I think it's a 5 or that were off.
And again, the second and fourth Wednesdays make it easier, but if there's something going on, that there's a conflict, obviously, but just.
Right, I think there was only 1 month that there was an issue, I think. There should have been.
All right, just look at the dates.
Okay.
All right,
And one of them was didn't you say, Gail, that one of them was a Monday because that's when we have to do the
yeah,
budget?
that's October, yeah, we know that, October, November.
Yeah, and then one of them was
Always
everybody's gonna be at the town association meeting, so we didn't do that Wednesday. So there's a couple, there was reason for it, but I didn't set the dates, I don't know what dates
I just checked.
the dates.
I checked them again.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
What you're gonna post it is the right dates,
Pardon?
dates you're posted in the lobby?
Yes.
Okay.
If this got posted, it's incorrect.
Okay. So Barb, you go over that with Gail before we put them online? Thank you. Okay. Any concerns, anyone?
No, I'll talk to Gail after on these ATM proposals. I want to make sure they're bonded and insured, and, I mean, it could be a nightmare. So I really want to investigate these.
Okay. Do we have to get into session?
I wouldn't, no, I don't recommend you do it.
Okay. Anything? A motion to adjourn? Motion by Rich? Second. Second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Well, thank you.
That was record, that was the fastest.
Well, because next week we got everybody, the survey for the engineers, commenting on this conference.
Looks like you're in the policy.
No, no, it's not mine.
It's just sitting, it's over there.
Those copies of the council.
You have all this stuff No, this is appropriate.
Apparently you can all go home now. That's what. I know. She just stayed there Okay, I'm telling you, you can go home. You just sit there in the meeting.
Well, why is it a public meeting?
How the hell do I know?
We didn't get any
Ask
comment
them.
time here this evening? Public comment time? I mean, did we have to jump up and interject while you're speaking to get our time?
No, not at all. We didn't have, well, the stuff for the 8th that we said for the housing project, we're not gonna vote on that tonight.
Okay, well, there's other concerns that matters. You discussed the police issue. I had a little concern about that.
Oh, okay, all right. So do you wanna we can open the meeting back up?
Yeah, you need a motion to reopen.
Okay. Motion by Rich, second by Jim. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Go ahead.
Sure.
My name is John Dieter. My concern with these issues is from Hartford time. That person probably works someplace else also. So if he's needed in that particular day, he's not able to cover, so we'll be short of police coverage. Is there that concern been?
He's actually retired. He doesn't have another job. He's retired.
Okay, so he will be available.
He's available.
Okay,
And they're used to fill in when others aren't, so,
right, but
and there's multiple part-timers, so it's not like there's only one or two to fill in.
okay.
The chief,
No.
the chief tends to take it. He'll get somebody extra. Lieutenant, did you want to make a comment on it?
I'm sorry I had to take that call, but it's somebody else's question.
We had an issue about a permanent part-timer that he would have another job, so if you needed him, he wouldn't be available to work.
I'm sorry, the question was what you need.
The issue was as a permanent part-timer, he, as soon as he has a job elsewhere, so if we needed him, he wouldn't be available to work.
And the net result was you'd be short-handed, and that's not the case.
No, he does, I can tell you for a fact at this point, he does not have anything else. In addition, the usual understanding is that we come first, so they know what they're signing up for. And in this particular situation, Dan's been with us for over 20 years, so he knows the expectations.
Board, my name is Ron Merritt. I live on Concord Boulevard, and my biggest problem is in 2018, of August 2018, I reported a sinkhole on Concord Boulevard. I just want to know how many 5-gallon pails of cold pack are you guys going to keep putting in that hole as it keeps sinking and spreading? It's almost 8 foot length and wide. Come springtime, it's going to cave in. And just the other day, they put another 2 or 3 gallons of that cold patch, and it's just settling down in that hole. I sent this in a long time ago to the town. It was, that's how deep it is, almost 28 inches deep below road level. Okay, and it goes 84 inches from the center of that hole towards Route 5. And it's that deep all the way through, and it's 48 inches wide. I myself filled it in with shoulder mix 3 times. Just so I watch those kids in the school bus, and they hit that bus, and the kids are flying out of their damn seats. I just want to know if it's going to be taken care of. I understand you bought a brand new pothole machine, And we're gonna rent it out to Whitesboro and the Oriskany before we fix our own damn
I'm not renting
potholes.
out to anybody before we fix their own.
All right, but that's what was in the paper. It said that you're gonna be renting it out to other towns. And I said, how can you fix a pothole in the wintertime? You can't.
Yes, we can, we have machines.
How are you gonna fill in that hole under the road? It's only gonna break down through.
Well, we're watching it, and when the weather permits, we'll fix it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Splash it out.
Oh, well, I don't wanna send you home disappointed. So Rick, you know I like you,
Yes.
but you're gonna get. You guys remember when you were in high school and you told a girl you were gonna call her and you didn't? Well, guess what? We're adults now, so you don't do that to us. So you were supposed to call me like 2 weeks ago, and you didn't. So now I'm calling you out in front of a whole room full of people, work back from teenage years back into your adulthood, and pick up the phone. Okay?
Okay.
I'm offering you a solution to a problem flooding 8 houses on Oneida Street. You know, the least you can do is call me and we'll look at it. It's not gonna be one of these big, fancy, expensive things that you're gonna need a lot of money for. And I sure as heck don't need an engineer, not for this. So, you know, I think we can fix this, come to some kind of an agreement. The other thing, what I gave Jim Mesa tonight was the newspaper article that was in the OD about a study, because you know you've commissioned a new study. And so they're questioning, you know, what are you gonna do? Keep paying for studies. And Bleach Real was a picture on the newspaper, but as you read the article, it's mostly about like commercial areas. It was about like JK and it was about like Sangertown Square. Well, honestly, you put the picture on the paper of what really matters, because they're the ones that are flooding. You know, I guess JK is pretty well taken care of, and maybe Sangertown. So I didn't think that was a good article. And I called him, and I told him I didn't think it was a good article, and I told him why. So I don't know if you're gonna hear from him. But then, after I saw that, I got a brainstorm. You read the GEIS, the GIS study, even though you didn't adopt it. So when you've got something in front of you and you're reading it, you don't have to adopt it to be able to maybe pick pieces out of it and say, oh, you know what? Maybe there's a point there. And that GEIS study told you not to develop the southern areas of the town, or you were going to flood the town. Now, my son just lost 2 mobile home lots in his mobile home park from that flood. He thinks I'm an idiot for being here. He said, you know what, you're wasting your breath. Well, at my age, I got a lot of breath left in me. I'm going to live to be 100, so you guys better hope you're not here for that. Okay. Now, the other thing is, I swear to God, I'm sick schooling you guys about trees. I am so done, stick a fork in me. So here's the deal. The code, I appreciate you looking into it. The code that you saw, honestly, you've got to write it in English or ditch it and redo it or something. These loggers don't have college educations. They're nice guys, if you like loggers, but they don't understand all this stuff that you're doing for these codes. That doesn't cover logging. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. You need a code specifically for logging in this town. And then, not that we want to talk about the woods development, but if you have to cut trees, here we go again. New Hartford says, oh, we want to be a green community. You guys are no more green than I am black. Seriously. And is that politically correct? No, it isn't, and I really don't care. So, I get a letter in the mail, one for me and one for my son. I love United States Postal Service. Okay, seeing is believing. Green Edge Timber Company out of Albany. My name is Eddie Notice. I'm a forester and procurement manager for Green Edge Timber. After surveying nearby property, it has come to my attention that your land in upstate New York may contain valuable timber resources. Please call me or email me for more information to set up a timber proposal. Guys, you know, if you thought I was kidding you, you're wrong. If you think I'm the only one and my son are the only ones that got this letter in my area, you're sadly mistaken. So either you change the code and you write a logging code, or I swear to God, my son and I are going to clear cut every inch of our property, and you're not going to have a southern part of your town. I make a motion that we come up with a logging code tonight, because I can always move to where there's no more water, but a heck of a lot more trees by the time I get through cutting mine. I'll need trees. Now, what's it going to be? And Jim, you're in a mess. You are now in a mess. And here's the thing. He needs help. One guy can't do this. He needs help. Well, maybe you need help now. And if you don't help him with his problem, why should he help any of you? Why should he? So I seriously think somebody better do something, or I'll run for the board.
With that in the login shape, I know you looked at it, Herb, you looked at it, was there any,
Well, I think we can look at it further. I'm not familiar with how extensive the logging situation is, but certainly I'd be happy to.
Well, you put on your boots, and you put on some old clothes.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, you spoke at the public session. I was asked a question by a board member, and normally we don't get into a dialogue in this part, but Jim, I'll be happy to.
because I know that Mrs. Cousinworth brought up the was it back in November meeting or early December meeting?
It was November.
About the tops and so forth, and I don't think that was in the code, right? Did you?
Well, it was my opinion, it was addressed in the code, whether it's sufficient or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think, to that point, leaving that behind and so forth, that she brought up a month ago, we need to address that. And then in terms of, we're looking at the code for
Yes.
levying, I think we should, absolutely. So if you can do that, we'll do it.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Michelle Moran. I am the president of the New Hartford Dispatchers Union, and I'm here to request a meeting with the board.
Michelle, personnel matters are usually handled in executive session. The board can make a determination as to whether or not they want to go into executive session. My understanding is that you've initiated a grievance proceeding, and it was my recommendation that since that has been initiated, that it be deferred, because ultimately the process ends up before the board. And if in fact the process hasn't been completed, I think it's premature to be in front of the board.
So you're denying my request because it may be premature?
It's up to the board, it's up to the board to make the determination, and obviously I don't want to go into detail as to your situation in a public meeting, however you've come forward. And as I indicated to you, it's my feeling that since you initiated a grievance, a formal grievance process, we have to follow the steps that are contractually set forth in that, and we can't bypass those steps. Now, if the board wants to go into executive session, certainly they have that prerogative. But as you know, there is a process that's defined in your contract that sets forth you making your complaint verbally, the chief responding it, within 10 days you filing something in writing, and then a response, and then...
As I also know, I'm entitled to request a meeting with the board.
You are entitled to request it, and I've indicated to you that it's up to the board to decide.
Okay.
However, where there is a grievance pending, my concern is that the process is being circumvented. But it's up to the board if they want to go into executive session.
I I don't have a problem going in, but
When was the grievance filed?
I was told today.
It was yesterday.
so, I mean, just because I don't understand, the grievance part of it and legal wise, but, if we go into executive session with you, I don't know if that waives any of her rights or anything in terms of this grievance.
Well,
I don't
you
know.
haven't followed the process that's set forth in the contract. The contract specifically provides the grievance is presented verbally. The chief then, I think, he has 3 days to respond verbally. And then if that isn't satisfactory to handle it, then I think within 10 days it has to be submitted in writing, and then the chief has some time to respond, and then if she's unhappy, she has a right to come to the board.
So ultimately, she can come to the board.
Yeah. But it certainly should be handled in an executive session.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a matter relating to an employee.
I don't have a problem going in executive, but it's up to you guys too.
Well, I think the process has been started. It's just a matter of whether we meet now or at some point down the road. I think if there's a formal grievance, we might be an impediment to a solution.
Well, I think the reason that the process is set up that way is that the chief is the one who's supposed to initially respond to the grievance. So, if you, certainly you have the right to override that, you're not following the exact terms of the contract. I mean, you're welcome to go into executive session, listen to what she has to say. My recommendation to you, though, is to not respond, because it's up to the chief now, because she's followed the formal grievance process, which is clearly defined in the contract.
So what you're saying is you don't want
Well, if you want to do it, I have no problem with you doing it, but I don't think you should respond. In other words, you may want to go into executive session and give Michelle, who obviously is a long-standing employee here, the right to present her feelings. But my recommendation would be that you not respond, because it's up to the chief at this point.
So we were to an executive session and you.
Doesn't matter to me, whatever the board feels is appropriate.
Understanding that we're not going to respond, and you're okay with that?
Understand?
So you guys will go contact.
We need a motion to go into the executive session.
So we still got public hearing, so we should finish
Yeah.
the public hearing first. though.
Okay.
And then we'll go into executive session.
Thank you.
Right. Does anyone else have any comments? Yeah.
I'm Sam Burrow, I live on the Concord Boulevard. I'm here to speak on the Woods development project you guys want to go through.
We're actually, that we're holding because it's certainly, the engineer is gonna be here. In the last meeting, I don't know if you were here.
Are you going to have a public speaking at that time?
We're gonna have public speak, no one's gonna vote until that's all done, plus we'll have a survey of the watershed and all the problems, if there are, where they are, and what we can do to solve them, so.
Okay.
I wanted to wait for that before.
They also need to look in the sewer
Okay.
and wildlife. There are hunters on the adjoining land. I've hunted that land for 37 years. There's white-tailed deer, there's turkeys, there's coyotes, occasional bobcat, red fox, and we've even had black bear travel through the area. So they might want to take a look at some other things.
Well, the one that we paid for is just on water studies. It's just to see what the water issues are, because that was the major concern of the meeting last time they came, the developer. So we're studying the water parts of that. But that's the only, the DEC would have to give us information for
We're
the
getting
animal.
that and sewage.
Okay, well, the sewage Rick would do with his team, so,
Because I'm looking at this report, it claims there's adequate sewage already, nothing else is gonna be built. I call the DPW at least 6 times a year, because the pumping station's shut down. I get raw sewage pumping out of the manhole cover in the corner of my property. At times, a foot to a foot at a time, and it's doing nothing but pumping raw sewage out into the woods, which ends up running across the bottom of the woods highway, down over into the wetlands on the other side of Route 40. They can't do anything about it, you're just gonna add more residential to it. I'll start looking at the DEC or the EPA to get something done.
The pumping station is currently under contract, it's gonna be replaced with all brand new pumps, brand new electrical board, and a diesel generator to run when the power is off. It's in the works.
Do you have a completion date on that?
They told me February 28th.
They ain't even got electric hooked up.
That's what you're telling me. BB contractors.
Okay. Anyone else?
I always have a question.
I'd like to know if anyone contacted the EPA in regards to this property and the proposed project on Woods Island.
Ma'am, all that information for that project is gonna be at the next meeting that we're gonna have. Because,
So you can't answer if you contacted the EPA or not?
no,
As
that's
part
gonna
of the
all, our
environmental
engineers are
review?
gonna come, we're gonna discuss the project. The board members are gonna see the information that they have. In 4 weeks, it's gonna be totally complete for review. So this is gonna be postponed at least another month before any talk about it is even being done. Because we want all our ducks in a row, we wanna make sure that we have actual adequate documentation. We don't wanna just start saying this and that, and then, you know, it's not really true. So we're gonna wait for that, and then at that meeting, everybody's gonna be resent letters to come back to the meeting, and that's when the board will make the decision. And that's when we'll have true facts here, not stuff that's just said, because there was a lot of stuff said last meeting that, again, could be true, could be not true. So we wanna get real facts before we make a decision.
So the federal wetlands you're not worried about when you did?
What I'm saying is, we
everybody
want the
else?
engineer to come, that we paid for to support the town. And we want them to give us true data of exactly what's going on. And it also is gonna show too, where there's issues with water. That's our main concern too, is the water situation.
Right.
Because everyone here doesn't know everybody's backyard and where the
Right.
water's coming from.
And
So again,
I've
we're,
invited people to my backyard, so.
no, I understand, but even if we look at it,
Yeah.
we want true data. We don't want to just go there and, you know, we had a conversation before with another municipality. We're doing these studies so we have true data, so we can really see what's really wrong and then tackle it from there. That's what we want to really see.
All right, so what you're saying is that you hired an engineer for just this project or for the whole study?
For the study of all those roads, in fact, I discussed it last meeting. We said what roads were going to be added in there. It's going to be a study of that complete area, which we had our meeting with them already. They said in 4 weeks that it should be complete. So once that's complete, we're going to send letters out again to all the residents to come to discuss that. Instead of doing like, you know, one discussion, another discussion. That's going to be the big meeting, and then all the board members will have, again, real data in front of them. They can come do a presentation for everybody. And again, if you have a question that you don't agree on, and you have, then the engineers are gonna answer it for us. They're gonna be the ones that, again, are doing the actual study of the project.
So who are the engineers?
It's done in Skirmo.
Okay. Are they certified floodplain management people?
They actually
or-
teach, John Dunkel actually teaches all the college courses to all the engineers up at SUNY.
Well, this is a certification for floodplain management.
They
that is
are
available. It's not
the
common
guys,
knowledge.
they are the guys. So, and again, you could ask them all that when they come.
Okay, so what was their name again?
Done in Skirmo.
John.
Yep.
Okay.
And his name is John Dunkel. So when he comes, again, he's gonna be here for the residents to ask questions and interact and again, he's gonna come with real data and real facts, and we're gonna present that to everyone, including the board. Again, he's looking out for the residents in the town. He's not hired by anybody else. We paid for him to do this for us, because again, not everybody on the board's an engineer. Not everybody on the board understands some of the issues and some of the issues that aren't there. So that's what they're coming to do for us.
Okay, so are they actually going to come to the area and have feet on the ground, or are they gonna?
John
do it
Dunkel
from
has walked every creek with me and Brick around here.
Okay, so
He's been
they're
on every
actually-
project that we've done.
Okay.
He's done a great job, and again, he's actually very recognized by other engineers in the area.
Well, no,
So,
I'm not doubting his
No, I understand.
abilities, I'm just
Yeah.
asking if they're gonna be physically.
100%.
Unlike the engineer that went from pictures and maps And it stays around.
Again, that's not our engineer, he didn't
No, I
represent
know
the town.
that, it's just, that's why I
Yeah,
asked the
yeah.
question, because he obviously never set foot on the property, so.
But this guy is, because he's representing the residents in the town, that's why we hired him. He's here for you, he's not here for them or anybody else. He's here again to give us true facts and figures, and he's here to discuss the issues that are there, and if there's ways to fix the issues, and that's what we're currently concerned with, is fixing the issues.
All right, well, I mean, some land is undevelopable, you know, that's just.
But again, he's going to be the one to tell us that, again, from running data, doing the study, taking, a look at the whole thing as a whole, that's all, so.
Okay, and then nobody's contacted the EPA about their wetlands?
I haven't, but he's going to do that, he's our engineer.
Okay.
It wouldn't be right, a responsibility of here for us to call the EPA. It's
Well,
their job,
I
because
know,
he's gonna document in that survey.
There
and that's-
are federal wetlands there, and as part of the environmental study that was half done, they should have been sent a letter, in my opinion, too, because there's federal wetlands there. You contacted the DEC and other municipal things that have powers to be over there, so I'm trying to say that the EPA should have been contacted.
But this is a study again, of the whole area.
Right, I understand.
So the engineer will look at the whole area and will tell us that. So we don't have to call them. He's gonna tell us where the federal wetlands are, where the state wetlands are. It's gonna be in his
All
report.
right, you're missing my point, but I'm gonna let it go for now.
No, I understand your point. What
I
I'm
don't
trying to say is
think you
he's
do.
going to do what you're asking for.
Well,
He-
I know, but that should have been done from the beginning for this project, is what I'm trying to say, is input from them.
But the actual property that they're doing is not in federal wetlands, the actual
Yeah,
part.
it is.
The upper part is.
There's federal.
But again, that's
wetlands
why the
there.
engineer is gonna come and do the study, because again, we have a disagreement, right? Somebody else might agree, someone else
Well,
might.
I got the most current map, so.
Well, what I'm saying is
whatever.
they're gonna
All
tell
right.
us that.
All right, very good. Very good.
Little Rock Carlover, I just have a question.
Sure.
In that you're gonna hire this engineering crew to come through now. Is that gonna make a difference because it's winter? I can tell you, my backyard was flooded more than 3/4 and I had water in my basement when it was. And Scott pumped out probably thousands of gallons so that we could get it to actually to the edge of the backyard. They're not gonna see that in the winter, are they? Is that gonna impede the process and go, oh, look, here, it's just a little water? That's
No, because they're gonna look at everything, from topology, the contours of the ground. I mean, there's more to it than just seeing where the water's pooling. I mean, they can actually tell where the water's pooling even now. I mean, if there's not 3 foot of snow right now, you can see the ground. So they're gonna come out and take a look at all that, and then they're gonna evaluate it.
Okay, because I know that in the summer, if you dig, by the time you get to the second or third shovel full, that place is totally full of water. So I just want them to see that, to know that this is what's gonna happen.
Well, they're gonna be able to tell us where the runoffs are and everything, and again, there might even be pipes somewhere that got broken. That's maybe why some areas have more water, that's the thing that they're gonna look at. They're gonna look at it as a whole, I mean, and give us the determination. And again, they're gonna look for wetlands, they're gonna look at the whole area, everything about it, and say, this is why you have issues here, this is why you got it. I mean, there was another municipality that found an issue with a pipe that went from, a large 50-inch pipe down to a 20-inch pipe in another municipality. Well, they didn't know that until they did, their study, and now they found an issue, so now they have to repair it. Same thing with this one. Those are the things that we might find out, that why you have all that water in your backyard,
Why did they take the for sale sign off the property? Do you know that?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe you took it down?
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't drove it there since.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I know I have a chance to speak. Why are we paid for the study? Why isn't the person selling the property or the person?
Because it really has not, because if they build it, they don't, we still want to find out why residents have issues in their backyards, right? I mean,
But, and if this construction wasn't coming in, would we be doing this study?
I hope so.
well, yeah, it's for the residents' backyards, that's why we're doing this, it really hasn't. This is only going to show if there's more issues with this project, but it's also going to show why everybody has so much water in their backyard.
Okay, but I just, I sell property, if you having your home inspected, either the seller or the buyer pays for the inspection, or, septic tank, the seller or buyer pays for this. I'm just wondering why we're paying our tax dollars.
Well, we're not selling or buying anything, though. We're doing it for the residents that live in our town.
But
Well, we
in order
appreciate
for the
that.
construction to go up on this piece of property, the study has to be done and passed.
I'm gonna do the study regardless if the apartments are in or not. I mean, that's meaningless to me, the apartments being there. The problem is, 40 people came to last meeting with problems in their backyard, and I'm trying to figure out why there's so much water. Some of the residents that are here tonight, I actually visited and seen the water there, but there were so many people that I thought a study would be the right thing to do. So not only that it's gonna take care of the issue with the apartment building, but it's also gonna at least try to find out why, again, all these residents have all this water in their backyard. So the residents that have the issues are paying for the study also in their taxes, just like we are. And we're doing this also in other areas for people that, again, have issues in their.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought it was
Yeah.
just being done because of
No,
construction.
their study that they're doing, they pay for from our engineers too. But this is not just their property or their project. This, again, is going probably 5-6 streets wide and over, to the 840 over to Seneca Turnpike. So again, this is a whole area, again, done for the residents. It's not done for them. They already did their study. They already did all the stuff they had to do. They paid for it. They even paid for the engineer that did it for us. Again, that was only their parcel of land that they did it for. This is, again, for the whole group of houses and all the residents that have issues with water.
So they paid an engineer, an independent engineer?
Correct.
To do the study? And
Yes.
who was it?
He was the guy that was here. I don't know. He was the engineer that was here at the last meeting.
The one that got beat down to the ground?
Again, if you'd like to call the developer, you can call him and get those questions that,
I'll call him,
Yeah.
I've talked to him, but,
Thank you.
like I said before, that the planning board was supposed to hire an independent engineer.
We
to
did all
cost-
that. The planning board
You didn't do that.
abided by every rule
No,
for
they
New York
didn't.
State. Yes, they did.
You didn't hire an engineer.
Yes, we
Brian
did.
Janney
No, you did.
was the engineer.
Okay, did Conifer pay for that engineer?
Yes, they did.
And how
Yes.
much did they pay?
Well, it doesn't even, it's whatever. It is what it is.
Well, no, I'm gonna say this because now I'm getting upset again. When Hillside Gardens wanted their overlay, you made a motion or told the board they needed to make a motion to hire an engineer to do a study for the planning board. And it was $5,000 something that Hillside Gardens had to pay to do this study, and now it's different here.
No, it's not.
Yes,
You're
it
making
is.
it different.
I'm not making it
Yes, you
different.
are. It's the
made
same thing.
The town board made a motion, and now I'm just supposed to take your word for it, that you hired the engineer, the contracting engineer. When you have an independent audit, it's not the contracting engineer for the town.
That's the process. I have nothing to do with it.
Well, I think you're
It's
really.
the same
need to read the
process that we've been using for everybody since I started that process.
Well, I think, well, then I don't know why you would have been on a board that had a motion for Hillside to have an independent engineer. You're the one that said it.
That's the motion that was made to start the process.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm
Well,
just telling you what it is.
I can
All
print
right,
it and
well,
send it
thank
to
you
you,
so much.
but whatever.
But listen, everything that's done is
Yeah,
above board.
no, and that's fine.
I just hate when
Okay.
people come and then, like, you just try to start problems when there's
I'm
no
not
problem.
starting any problems, I just like to make sure everything's above board.
Well, it is.
Well,
If you
it
have
was a
any,
big
if you
hurry
have
for
any
this
issues,
project, and it seemed
foil
like it
them.
was rushed.
If you have any issues, foil them. So again, you get true data
I don't
and
need to
true
foil them, I
information.
have the minutes that,
Well,
so.
everybody that started, since we made the motion, ongoing, has paid for our engineer as a developer. Okay, and I'm saying it on the record in front of the camera, every engineer.
Well,
So you're
nobody-
saying no. So if
nobody
you
can
say no,
answer that question
foil
last
the
meeting.
data, we'll send it to you.
No, huh?
Foil the data, we'll send it to you.
Well, maybe I will.
Okay, good.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
One quick question, how far down Seneca Turnpike is this study gonna go? Is it gonna go to almost to Homestead, or?
Yeah, close to Applewood area.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you for everybody for coming tonight. Again, we're gonna have all this information for everyone. We're gonna send out letters again. We'd like you to come back to the meeting. and discuss and maybe find out why we have more issues with water in everyone's backyard. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming, and if I can have a motion. Yeah, motion to close. Motion by Rich. Second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Bring this down.
That's good. I'll send you my budget recommendations next year, for this year.
Yeah. Motion by Rich, second by
Who
Rich.
made it?
I did.
Yeah, Rich Woodman.
No, Rich.
Yeah, I did not, Rich.
Second by Rich Woodman. All in favor?
Aye.
Woodland made the motion to adjourn. Who seconded it?
Rich Woodman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
got a meeting.
We just did.
We just
We
did, okay.
did.
Adjourn. That's a motion to adjourn.
Where am I? I'm in.
You said second.